Good morning. This is Andy and this is my allotment. It's now just gone 8 o'clock on Saturday the 2nd of May, and as you can probably see, last night we had another frost. It's currently about -2, but I thought I'd come down this early and give you a quick update on where we've got to. I was planning to do an update last weekend, but I was out in the cold for so long, the battery on the phone died, or the camera died rather, so I wasn't able to take any videos, and then that's how we finished. It was too late to get the battery charged and come back again. So this is basically where we finished off at the end of last week. This bed here at the front needs finishing off. A small pile of soil there you can see that needs to be chopped up and then put back into the bed. There's a few gaps in there for it. The brassicas in this bed are starting to look a little bit worse for wear now. I'm hoping to get some sprouts off the plants on the right, but not too hopeful, because well, there's a few sprouts forming, but they're only the size of buttons at the moment, and I'm not sure whether or not anything will come of them later on. There's one kale plant left in there which is looking really nice, purple kale, and the other plants in the middle here are purple sprouting broccoli, which aren't doing very much at the moment, to be honest. At the back there's a few perpetual spinach and a couple of cabbages. The cabbages got a bit pecked because I left them open rather than covering them with this netting. So I'll just show you those, and you can see them in the sunlight there. As you can see, they're a bit tatty around the edges. It's a shame because they're really nice big thick cabbages, but they seem to be recovering, so I'm hopeful that we'll get something decent off those as yet. A few cabbages left in this bed as well. This is Stepdad Ken's bed, as I call it, because this is the one that was double dug compared to the one you just seen, which was lasagna method, whereby you've got a layer of cardboard, layer of manure, layer of soil, and the ground underneath isn't dug. The idea is that the plants and the worms will do the digging for me. So we had a little competition as to whose cabbages will be coming out best. Now, looking at the hearts on these compared to the hearts on those, I think these are bigger, but because they've been pecked to bits, it's a bit difficult to really tell. But I think that's a moral victory for me anyway. We've also got some rhubarb in this bed. Now, this is a Victoria rhubarb I brought from home. We had it last year in its first year and it did really well, and it's coming up already. It's coming up really fast. Now, there's a rhubarb there, and there's also one down there just peeking out. These were given to us last year as 1-year seed plants, and hopefully they'll do well. They're going to be transplanted later, helping to the rhubarb bed. Now, this bed has all my other brassicas in. These were ones that I didn't get a chance to put in time last year. So what's happened is that they've basically been a little slow to get started off, but they're strong plants. They survived. These were slugged, caterpillared and pigeoned, so we weren't sure they'd survive, but they have, and they seem to be doing okay. Okay, moving on. A pile of flagstones. Collected all these a couple of weeks ago. I brought them down. These are going to be used for pathways, or possibly for the seating area. I really haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with these, but there's a fair bit of them there. I think in total I've got roughly 20 2-foot by 2 foots, so we're talking about 80 square foot of flagging there, which is not bad. Now, got some willow and hazel poles there. Myself and Diane went for a little walk down the brook last Sunday, with a pair of loppers, and basically coppiced quite a few little trees. Doing it all sustainably, making sure we didn't take everything from one plant, and got some nice bean poles. The idea is that these are going to be used for my runner beans, my French beans, and possibly my broad beans, although I don't think broad beans will need quite a big run. And I want to use these to start from one side of a bed and then arch over the pathway into the other side over the next bed and make a green tunnel to walk under, which hopefully will be very nice later on in the summer. This bed needs finishing off. As you can see, I've got part way through digging it, and then we managed to get the drainage started out, so that's when I left all this and then went on to drainage. Speaking of which, I'm going to show you how that's going, because it appears to have worked wonderfully. Yeah, last week we laid a few extra paths. As you can see, this is now wood chip on here. We used to have flagstones and fencing panels on there, and again here we've got more wood chip. And because of the drainage channel that was dug and then extended is doing so well, we don't have any drainage problems. Having said that, we haven't had much rain for the last 7 days or so, but as you can see, it is totally and utterly empty. Then the pipe disappears under where it's been filled, and we have some new beds. This is the first part of the fruiting area. The bed to the left is going to have fruit bushes in it. The bed to the right needs digging, filling with manure and soil, and then that's where we're going to have strawberries and herbs. Then we have a path, and then the rhubarb area. Now this bed originally was set up with the back end in line with the back of the pond, as we thought that was the edge of the plot when we first started. Turns out it's not. The plot goes back quite a way, as you can see. So now what I've done is put the bed in line with the front of the pond. I'm going to use that as the edge for the seating area, patio area, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be flagged down from where the bricks and rubble is there, down in front of here, to meet up with the path, which will be flagged. Go across, and then up where you can see those canes. It's going to complete the flagged area. It's going to be a fair sized flagged area. It may not be quite that big yet, I don't really know. And then to the right of that I'm going to put a polytunnel. To the right of that it's going to be a shed, and then we're going to have compost area and other beds up there. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do that yet. But overall, I'm very pleased with how it's all coming out now. We're going to have fruit bushes at the back here where I've started digging. Have those bordering the actual edge of the plot up to where the polytunnel is going to be, so that we can use this area and have a bit of privacy on that end. But overall, we're getting there. Now one of the problems we had, as well as having the rhubarb bed too far forwards, was that when we put the rhubarb bed up, we measured from the beds at the back there to get the right distancing, and then we lined it up in line with the pond. The pond was put in by the previous plot holder, one of the few things they did manage to do, but unfortunately it's not square, because when we came to measure it, there's a good 6 inches difference between this end and that end. All this soil here needs to be chopped up and thrown back in the bed, and then I can plant the rhubarb we looked at earlier in here. Plus I've also got a large rhubarb plant from home that needs splitting and throwing in as well. So the plans for today is to get some rubble into this trench to fill it up almost to the top, a thin layer of soil on top so I can level it, extend the path down here, extend those 2 beds to come in line with that path there, which is going to be the main path right the way through onto the edge of the patio area, the working area, the flagged area. I really don't know what to call it, but that's the plan for this weekend anyway. Extend those 2 beds and that path over to here, get the path laid from there through here onto what's going to become my flagged area. Finish off moving all the soil from the bed at the bottom, and then just basically a tidy around and a bit of weeding. This is my onion bed. These onions were planted in October last year, most of them, the ones on the far side of the bed there. So you have to see very much of those at the moment. I can see them clear, but not sure how well they'll come out on the camera. The onions on this side of the bed, they were ones I bought as tiny onion bulbs from Aldi about May or June last year. They were planted up, but they haven't really done very much last summer at all. I was a bit late putting them out, to be fair. But the ones I'm really happy with at the moment is in this bed. And you can see that, but some very strong garlic plants. Now these garlic plants came from a bulb simply bought from the supermarket. Nothing special about it, just a jumbo garlic bulb from the supermarket which I broke into cloves and put in the ground. At this edge, where there is absolutely nothing coming up whatsoever, is where I put some commercial garlic that I bought. Oh, tell a lie, I can see one little tiny one coming up by the label. So the commercial garlic is a big disappointment at the moment. It's not shown at all. But I'm hoping still that it will come up as we get to some warmer days. I have put some garlic into this bed as well, along this edge, and there's 2 or 3 coming up, but they've been a bit frost damaged, or something's been nibbling on them. Not sure what at the moment, but we'll have a look at that when the weather gets a bit nicer. The muck pile is going down, as this is being used to fill in the fruit beds, and I'll be using some of this on the rhubarb bed as well. This pile, I say, is going because we're going to be building the big beds here. Got one bed there, going to have a space and another bed there over the top of where I had my compost heap originally, because the previous plot holder had a big hole here. So I was going to fill that in with compost, but it's just taking so long to do. I've decided I'm going to simply build raised beds in it, dig down into it and then turn the soil over, mix it with some manure. I'm going to be planting my beans in this, and this is where the bean poles are going to go across from this bed to the bed I haven't yet built. I have to hurry up with those because the beans are going to have to go in fairly shortly. But there's a lot to do, but I do feel we are getting somewhere now, and I'm very pleased with that. Nearly had a polytunnel this week as well, as on the plot diagonally over there where you can see the polytunnel that's up. That plot holder's not been very good recently, and he was considering leaving the plot, so I offered him that I would take his polytunnel and buy his polytunnel off him if he didn't want it anymore. Since then he's been on and had a quick look at it and decided that there's not a huge amount of work that needs doing. It's better than he had expected, and so he's going to give it a try and see how he does. We're going to give him a hand tomorrow when he's on site, and we're on site at the same time, just to tidy up and get him in a state where he can actually carry on with his allotments, which is the best way around. Even though it means that I don't get a cheap polytunnel, it means the plot holder keeps on his plot, which is best of all worlds for me, to be honest. As David's a fount of all knowledge. He used to teach horticulture before he retired, and so he can be very useful, I'm hoping. Now, compost bins. I've been filling the blue compost bin for, well, over all the winter really, and let's just have a quick look, see if there's anything. Yeah, lots of brown stuff on the top, not really rotting down too much. I think this needs turning over. I shall have to move the bins shortly anyway, because they're in the way of where I want to be working, and I'll move them back up here a little bit and put something in the black one. The black one's totally empty at the moment. I got that one after the blue one. So what I think I'll have to do is find where I'm going to keep them properly, move everything over, to turn it all over in the bottom of there, because the whole thing itself is quite well rotted at the bottom, but on the top it's not getting enough in there. So I think I'll have to turn it over, add a bit of water, transfer it to the black one, and just keep on going. But it's amazing how fast the stuff rots down, because you pile it up, you come back a week later and it's lower than the level you just piled on top of. And so it is working, it's just taking a time, especially this time of year when it's very cold and very frosty in the mornings, and there's not a lot that can be done. Bag of leaf mould. This white bag was absolutely heavingly full of leaves when we first started. Let's have a look. Doesn't appear to be much change in there. Although, oh yes, it is. It's getting there now. It's getting quite nice underneath. quite dry on top, but underneath it's quite nice. I think I may have to add a bit of water to that because it's not had any for a while. It's drying out on top. So by this time next year that should be very, very good. The other problem is I'm going to have to shift it from there because I'm going to be putting beds through there. I'll have to move it further up to the top where the wood is at the moment. But anyway, I think that's enough for now. It's been a long rambling video, so I hope I've not bored you all to tears. But just before I go, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers on my YouTube channel. I do these videos for myself, just as like a video diary. But it's nice to see that people want to see what I'm doing. And I've had some nice comments, thank you very much for those. I think overall, I'm just amazed that people want to see what I'm doing. But thank you very much for that, and I hope you enjoy this. Anyway, bye bye for now.